does eating seafood, it's very specific, or open grilled food, e.g. suya, increase one's chances of getting cancer? So let's have Dr. Aisha take this question initially.
Okay, thank you very much. This is largely not true. Eating seafoods or open grill foods generally do not cause cancer. However, the seafoods, or let me just say suya, which you have used as an example, this is meat that is being grilled over open flame, very high temperatures. There are actually scientific researches that have proven that because the meat is protein in the meat, when it's burnt over very high temperatures, then it actually produces some carcinogens. They have their medical names, but generally there are some carcinogens, HCAPAH, that is being produced by the meat that is being grilled over very high open flame. And then this have the tendency to cause cancers because they are carcinogenic. However, if, for example, I grill vegetables or tomatoes or carrots or something, they don't have this protein, so they're not going to produce this particular carcinogens. Even though we know that grilling, even if it is not a protein-containing food, it can also predispose whatever you're grilling to have benzopyrene, which is another carcinogen. But these are all postulations, and scientific researches are ongoing. There is a tiny little risk of these carcinogens predisposing one, especially somebody who already has a background risk of having cancers, to developing them, but on their own, they are not causal to causing cancers. I don't know if that explains it.
It does, it does. Thank you very much. Thank you. Dr. Abdulazeez.
All right, this is the hardest question of all the questions today. It's a difficult one to answer. The short answer, and I like short answer, is no. Now, as scientists, we're very, very poor at communicating information. And we have findings at different levels of science. The question is, how applicable are these? How strong is this evidence of X, Y, Z? And as Dr. Aisha said quite rightly, there's all sorts of compounds or molecules in the world that are regarded as carcinogens. That means that there is at some level, very often in a petri dish or in an animal, that they've been shown to lead to the development of cancer or be associated with the development of cancer. And it's important that all scientific knowledge be shared with the world, and we do share this knowledge. But then becomes how you interpret this information. So the stuff about grilled food and things like that, which is very popular in Nigeria, while there are some compounds that you find in such grilled food, as Dr. Aisha has already said, and I'm not going to go over that again, the actual link with the development of human cancers is a lot trickier to establish. It's a lot trickier to establish. And, I don't think the evidence, not just what I think, the evidence is not there to establish that this is linked. And it is hard because we eat many different things, right? We ingest many different things. We're exposed to many different things. Well, it's extremely hard to actually tease out what among all those things is the cause of something else. You can have associations, you can have strong associations, and very strong associations. I'll give you an example of a very strong association: smoking. Smoking has a very strong association with cancer. However, it's still a very strong association because the fact that you smoke and you smoke for many years, even if you smoke all your life, does not guarantee that you will get cancer. And also, you can get cancer, the same kind of cancer that smokers get, without having ever smoked, right? But despite that, we know that the risk of you getting cancer if you smoke is a lot higher than if you don't smoke. But it's communicating these things that's a lot difficult. Now, smoking is in the extreme. That's a very strong association, right? So please, everybody on this call, do not smoke. Okay. But when it comes to certain kinds of foods and things like that, trust me, if you start going down that rabbit hole, you will probably just never leave your house or eat anything ever again. Because there's millions and millions of carcinogens out there that exist in everything that we do. Studies are ongoing to find out what's associated with what and what the strength of the association is. It's important to always go to the source information, which is where these scientists have actually demonstrated what their findings were. So this is the experiment that we performed. This is the kind of data that we're looking at that leads us to say these things, rather than say a journalist's interpretation of what those scientists have said, because that's yet another translation. And it's the same way we have to learn Islam as much as possible from the Arabic language so that things do not get lost in translation. It's also important that science be sought, from source knowledge. And if we don't understand the source knowledge, we can ask people who do. It's very similar to how things are done in Islam. So Islam teaches us a lot about how to deal with knowledge in the world in general, as well. Things like suya, it's all about moderation, which is again something that you learn from Islam, mashallah. It's all about moderation, but there's no strong evidence to back those claims. It's all very preclinical at this point in time. Allah Ta'ala.
Thank you very much, both of you. That was really insightful. Thank you. Because I've been avoiding suya for a number of reasons. This is one of them, and then the other one is the type of meat they use and things like that. So this is useful information. Thank you.